So the object I've decided to talk about is the Apple Newton. I bought this in 1994. I just graduated, or is it in the process of graduating from the Royal College of Art, as an interaction designer. So this was all about the early digital world. And so this was when John Sculley was the chief executive of Apple before Steve Jobs returned, and indeed when Steve Jobs returned he killed this as a project. Why did he kill it? Well, I think it's a fantastic object, but it was sort of maybe 15-20 years too early. So what's great about it is we've got this plastic casing that's attempting to be really high value. It's sort of beautiful shape, really quite rigid, very nice feel to it. It's got quite a rubberized paint. And so it's absolutely trying to say that this is a very sophisticated, high-quality artifact, quite sort of intimate. Lovely little stylus comes in and out. And indeed, the software, as you would imagine from Apple, was really nicely done in terms of handwriting recognition and little gestures of things blowing up when you scribbled them out. But all in all, it was too big, too heavy. And so it's fascinating now, quite a lot later, we see things now in metal and glass, and much tighter, much faster, and things that people really want at scale, where this never quite made it into the big time. Undeniably, it was instructional for them, and I think they learnt a lot from this about simplicity and focus. So the story goes that when they were then beginning to consider the iPhone and the iPad, they did reflect back on Newton and its strengths as well as its failings. Steve Jobs in particular, I believe, hates styluses, so it was always about touch from now on, so they used a fundamentally different technology in terms of the touchscreen. But also in terms of scale, I think they understood that something like this was neither pocketable nor sort of luggable. So now we have the very small and we have the much bigger, and it's much clearer what it is. This was stuck somewhere in the middle, I think. Well, I think for me, the point about the design is that it was amazingly futuristic back then. The idea that you could have an electronic device that might have your contacts, your notes and messages, your calendar. It was a digital filofax. The filofax was the big sort of paper-based organizer of the 80s, and this now was the digital filofax for the 90s. And indeed, I remember I was working in California from 95 to about 99, and I was flying at 30,000 feet from maybe San Francisco to New York when I realized I'd missed someone's birthday. So I drew a picture of happy birthday and faxed it from the back of the seat down across to the UK. So that was the point. It was all about living in the future, and I think the design visually speaks very much to that. A little bit Jetsons, swoopy. It's not just a square, a rectilinear box. It's a bit swoopy and futuristic. Maybe it flies, who knows?